Today, Adrian Peterson, well, he's expecting big things from the Vikings this upcoming season. And here's what the star running back had to say on Friday's Pro Football Talk live on NBC Sports Radio. As far as players, I feel like we have a young group with some veteran guys mixed in and some young guys that really can play some good ball. And then he compared Teddy Bridgewater to who else but the Patriots starting QB. He reminds me of a Tom Brady because Tom Brady is great at those mediocre passes, those short passes and mid-range passes, and that's exactly what Teddy does as well. That's a very normal comparison, right, Teddy to Tom? Well, looking at the Vikes' schedule this season, it's pretty tough in the beginning. 3 of their first 5 games are against playoff teams from last season, but only 1 of their final 6 opponents reached the postseason in 2015. So it's very tough and loaded in the front part. So Shannon, will the Vikings make the playoffs? What's that look on your face?
Because, I mean, the mediocre, was that a compliment to Teddy or a slap at Brady? But first of all,
I think both, actually.
You really should try and stay away from the comparison of you're talking about a Mount Rushmore quarterback. You're talking about arguably one of the 5 greatest players to ever play in the National Football League. And you're talking about your 3rd-year quarterback reminds you of him? Well, how reminds you? That quarterback that you say he reminds you of won a Super Bowl in his 2nd year. I guess he needs to really get on the ball. I understand what he's doing. As the leader of that team, the de facto leader of that team, he's saying, I have the utmost confidence in Teddy Bridgewater. I need to have that confidence because I need him to have confidence that I can get 1,500 yards, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to throw the football. You're gonna have to make some plays in some games where they're gonna stack the line, and I'm gonna need Teddy to be pinpoint accurate. I get what he's trying to do. I just think he went a bit overboard with it. Green Bay is gonna be much improved. They get Jordy Nelson back. I think they improved.
We all know that Jordy Nelson made Aaron Rodgers, right?
Stop.
Well, I mean, that's what you keep. That's what you're suggesting.
Every time I try my best, Skip. You always go overboard with it. Look, Jordy's gonna come back. I think
so. Aaron's gonna come back, right?
They'll be better, Prim. They'll be better defensively. I don't think that right now, I know it's May, it's early. That's what we do. It's going to be hard-pressed looking at their schedule. And I know I think Jacksonville's going to be much improved. Jacksonville won't be a pushover. I think Indy will be better. Looks take care of the football. Green Bay going to sweep them this year.
Sweep them?
Yep.
So they'll win at their new stadium in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Whoa, time out. If you play a team twice and they sweep you, what does that mean, Prim? That means they're going to win both games.
Well, I just learned something I never knew. From the Hall of Famer.
It
took a Hall of Famer to drive that point home.
You always got an in and an out. You always trying to back someone into a corner, paint them. Oh, so you say they're going to win? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Their new stadium.
Yeah.
The one they're building downtown with the retractable roof that they're going to play the Super Bowl in 2 years. Yeah, that's the one Green Bay's going to go and win.
For the record, will the Minnesota Vikings miss the playoffs? You don't have to count.
He's literally counting.
I got him at 9-7.
Miss.
I don't know. 9-7 might make it.
Oh, well,
9-7.
Oh, so you
don't know.
You're straddling the fence on 9-7?
They won the division last year at 11-5, correct?
They did. Well, that's pretty good, 11-5.
They're going to be 9-7. Is that better than 11-5 or worse?
Oh, you know what?
I mean, I didn't go to Prim with the Duke. I just went to Savannah State.
Listen, I was a jock, though. You went to Savannah State.
Yes,
Vanderbilt is the guy that we should be talking to.
So let me see. 11-5. So 16, 11-5, 9-7.
Yeah.
Which is more?
Which makes the playoffs?
11-5 did get won the division. I don't know because I don't know what everybody. Because let you tell it that 10-6 Cowboy or that 12-4 Cowboy team, they're book it, book it.
Oh, they'll run away with the East. That's easy. We're talking Super Bowl for the Cowboys. That's the big question. But let's get back to the Vikings. I got the Vikings going 10-6, finishing a game behind Green Bay in that division. I said they're going to come back. I like their draft. They're going to get healthier. They're going to get a lot of people. Eddie Lacy has lost some of that big gut, and maybe he'll have a big year.
He had a lot to lose, Skip.
I know. Okay,
I thought they was washing his jersey in hot water and drying it in the high heat. But he was gaining. Come to find out, he was gaining weight, Prim.
Okay.
Happens,
But back to Adrian Peterson. I think he's on to something because he did say one thing yesterday in his campaign to build them into a contender that intrigued me. It caught my ear and my eye. He pinned a lot of it on the defense, not the offense, not the quarterback. And again, we all know that Teddy Bridgewater throws a lot of mediocre passes. We get that. So I thought that was apropos. But to talk about Coach Zimmer's defense is a whole nother issue that I had not considered because they were 5th in the NFL last year in points allowed. That's pretty good. Seattle was first at 17.3. They were 18.9, which is a tick behind Denver at 18.5. So I'm not saying their defense was better than Denver's.
It wasn't close.
It was coming, and it's solid, and it's well coached. And I will say this because I've spent a lot of time around him in my Dallas days. Norv Turner can really coach young quarterbacks.
He can.
I watched him work wonders with a young Aikman, and I'm not saying that Bridgewater's in Aikman's category or sentence.
Won't you put him closer to Aikman than Tom?
Yeah, I will. That's thank you. Bingo. But Troy Aikman was underconfident as a young quarterback, and he was so lucky to have a big brother figure in Norv Turner to teach him the ropes and prop him up until he finally could figure it out and gain a hold of it himself. And I think Teddy Bridgewater played pretty well last year, and I thought he played very well against Seattle in that play. I know it was sub-freezing, and it was no man should have been subjected to that kind of
You know the best thing that might help Teddy Bridgewater? Going inside.
Maybe.
20 below, the wind.
I brought up the stadium, okay?
None of that.
Okay? But even in that windshield, that last drive was pretty impressive, throwing to Rudolph and get him down to the chip shot field goal range. And then we know Blair Witch Project took over, and that was the end of that deal. But they could have gone on to Arizona to play a playoff game. They were a pretty good team that was starting to feel very good about itself. And that kid they drafted in the second round, that Mackenzie Alexander out of Clemson.
Clemson, yes.
Okay. Again, I'm an Oklahoma fan, so I got hurt in the Orange Bowl by Clemson. But he did a pretty good job of containing a Sterling Shepard, who I thought was easily your Giants' best pick in the draft in the second round. And he caught 7 for 87 on McKenzie, who took him a lot man-to-man. But he did not get behind him and get to the end zone, which he is highly capable of doing. I think Mackenzie Alexander is one of those kids who doesn't time great, he doesn't test great, he can just play cornerback.
Yes.
And I think he will fit right into this scheme as maybe a nickel corner and improve it another level.
Okay.
So I got to like him on defense. I got to like him in this division to at least make the playoffs. I know the schedule looks tough. I think Adrian Peterson's not just blowing smoke here. I think
he totally believes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah,
all right, so you're saying 10-6 and playoffs. I'm going to push you because you said earlier you weren't afraid to say that the Giants were going to win the NFC
97,
East.
97,
so,
I don't think they make the playoffs at 97.
Okay.
there we
all
go.
Right.
Finally, we got
there we go.
Bottom line.
That's what I'm talking
Thank you.
about.
There's another team I don't think make the playoffs either.
Who is that?
No,
Yeah.
Oh, is it you on the record with that? Okay. All right. Now, boy,
He's getting
you know
warmed
what?
up. A minute 40 in. Now he's ready.
And now your 20,000 Twitter followers will they'll be doing dances.
Well, after everybody saw me beat you up today, I'm gonna get half of your followers.
You know what? You might have 25,000 after this show.
Well, I'm excited to hear what both of you are going to say about our next topic. What's the best way to celebrate an early exit from the playoffs? A costume party? No.
We have to talk about this.
Yes, we do. That's what the Spurs did. Skip's Spurs. How do they feel about this?
Which one is Tim Duncan?
Hardly wait
Yeah, that's a good
to see
question.
this one.